My beloved child, listen carefully. This message did not reach you by accident. If you are hearing these words right now, there is a reason your heart was pulled here today. Your soulmate has been crying out in silence, carrying emotions they have hidden from almost everyone around them. They have tried to appear strong. They have smiled when they wanted to break down. They have convinced others that everything is fine, but deep inside, they have been whispering your name more times than you could ever imagine. Something is shifting in the spiritual realm. A season of waiting is coming to an end, and before that door opens, there is something you must understand. Do not skip this message, because the ending may reveal why certain events in your life happened exactly the way they did. Your soulmate has spent countless nights wondering if destiny would ever allow your paths to truly meet. They have questioned every delay, every disappointment, and every unanswered prayer. Yet even in their weakest moments, a quiet hope remained alive within them. They never completely gave up, because their heart kept telling them that someone special was being prepared for them. That someone is connected to you. Right now, while you are listening, unseen circumstances are beginning to change. The walls that kept both of you apart are becoming weaker. The fears that once controlled the future are losing their power. What looked impossible is slowly becoming possible. But before this new chapter begins, you need to recognize something important. Your soulmate's tears are not only tears of sadness. They are also tears of hope, longing, healing, and expectation. Every tear carries a silent prayer that one day the waiting will finally make sense. And the strange part is this: they feel your presence even when they have never spoken to you. Sometimes they cannot explain why a certain place reminds them of someone they have never met. Sometimes a dream feels so real that they wake up believing they almost touched your hand. They dismiss these moments as imagination, but deep inside they know something greater is happening. This connection cannot be explained by logic alone. There is an invisible thread pulling two stories toward one destination. Stay with this message until the end, because what happens next may answer questions your heart has been carrying for much longer than you realized. My beloved child, there is something your soulmate has never been able to say aloud. Every time they tried to move on, something inside them gently pulled them back. They told themselves to stop believing, to stop hoping, to stop expecting a miracle. Yet every time they closed one door, another sign appeared. A familiar number. A meaningful dream. A song that touched a hidden part of their heart. They could not understand why these moments kept following them. What they did not realize was that heaven was quietly reminding them not to lose faith. Even now, your soulmate is carrying words they wish they could speak directly to you. They wish they could tell you how exhausted they have become from pretending everything is fine. They wish they could admit that they have prayed for someone who would truly understand them without judgment. They have cried in moments when no one was watching, asking why love seemed so distant while everyone else appeared to find happiness. Those tears were never ignored. Every silent prayer was heard, and every broken moment was counted. The delays you both experienced were never meant to destroy your future. They were preparing both of your hearts for a connection built on healing instead of pain. If you had met too soon, fear might have pushed you apart. If the timing had been different, the relationship may have been overwhelmed by wounds that neither of you had yet overcome. But now, something is changing. The lessons are becoming clearer. The burdens are becoming lighter. The path ahead is slowly opening in ways you cannot yet see. Your soulmate feels this shift, even if they cannot explain it. There are moments when they suddenly smile without knowing why, as though hope has quietly returned to their heart. They are beginning to believe that the waiting has not been meaningless after all. And as this season continues to unfold, you will start noticing unexpected moments that seem too perfect to be coincidences. These moments are gentle reminders that your story is still being written, and the chapter ahead may be closer than you think. My beloved child, your soulmate has been holding on to one secret that no one else truly knows. Behind every smile, there has been a quiet fear that they waited too long, that somehow destiny had already passed them by. They have watched other people move forward, while they remained standing in the same place, wondering if their own story would ever begin. Yet what they could not see was that heaven was protecting them from connections that would have left deeper scars instead of lasting peace. Every closed door, every delayed message, every relationship that faded away was quietly making room for something greater. Your soulmate has cried because they thought they were forgotten, but they were never forgotten for a single moment. Even when they felt completely alone, unseen hands were guiding their steps away from heartbreak they never knew existed. Soon, they will begin to notice that everything they once called a disappointment was actually divine protection. Their heart is slowly becoming ready to receive the love they have been praying for. And at the same time, your own path is being aligned in ways that seem impossible to understand right now. The distance between your stories is becoming smaller with every passing day. There will come a moment that feels completely ordinary, yet it will quietly change everything. A conversation, an unexpected encounter, or a simple decision may become the beginning of a chapter neither of you saw coming. When that moment arrives, your hearts will recognize a peace that cannot be explained by logic alone. The tears your soulmate has been shedding will no longer be tears of hopelessness, but tears of gratitude, because they will finally understand why they had to wait. Remember this, my beloved child: what is truly meant for you does not disappear because of delay. It grows stronger through preparation. So do not lose hope now. The story that has been written for both of you is still unfolding, and the next part will reveal the sign that your soulmate is closer than you realized. My beloved child, there is one more truth you must hear before this season changes forever. Your soulmate has been asking for a sign, not because they have stopped believing, but because their heart has grown weary from waiting. They have whispered quiet prayers late at night, wondering if the person they have been hoping for is real or only a dream they created to survive lonely days. They have questioned whether anyone could truly understand the depth of their heart. Yet every time they reached the edge of giving up, an unexplainable peace gently reminded them to hold on a little longer. That peace was not an accident. It was a promise that your story had not been forgotten. Even now, unseen pieces are moving into place. People, places, and opportunities are beginning to align in ways neither of you can yet recognize. What seems like an ordinary day may soon become the day everything begins to change. Your soulmate does not know your name yet, but their spirit has already been preparing a place for you. They have imagined conversations they have never had, moments they have never lived, and a feeling of safety they have never fully experienced. The tears they cry today are washing away the fear that has kept them from embracing what is coming next. Every painful memory is losing its grip. Every disappointment is becoming a lesson instead of a prison. Soon they will stop looking behind them and begin walking toward the future with renewed hope. And when your paths finally cross, there will be a quiet familiarity that neither of you can explain. It will feel as though your hearts recognize each other before your minds do. The waiting, the silence, and even the heartbreak will suddenly make sense. Until that moment arrives, keep your heart open and refuse to let fear speak louder than faith. What has been prepared for you cannot be stolen by delay, and what is truly meant for you is drawing closer with every passing day. The next part reveals the unexpected event that will make your soulmate realize that the season of waiting is finally coming to an end. My beloved child, the moment your soulmate has been praying for is much closer than they realize. For so long, they believed they had to carry every burden alone. They convinced themselves that no one would truly understand the battles hidden behind their smile. But I have been watching every tear they tried to hide, every silent cry they whispered into the darkness, and every question they asked when they felt abandoned. Not one of those moments was wasted. Even when they believed heaven was silent, I was working beyond what their eyes could see. There were paths I closed to protect them from heartbreak that would have changed them forever. There were people I removed because they were never meant to stay. At the time, it felt like loss, but one day they will recognize it as mercy. Now a new season is quietly unfolding. The heaviness that has followed them for so long is beginning to lift. They may not understand why they suddenly feel a spark of hope after months of uncertainty, but it is because the atmosphere around their life is changing. Doors that once refused to open are slowly unlocking. Answers that seemed impossible are drawing near. Your soulmate is about to discover that waiting was never a punishment, it was preparation. Their heart has become stronger, wiser, and more capable of receiving the love they once thought they would never find. And as your lives continue moving toward each other, you may notice unusual moments that seem too meaningful to ignore. A familiar feeling, an unexpected conversation, or a perfect coincidence may awaken something deep inside you. Do not dismiss these moments too quickly, because sometimes the greatest changes begin with the smallest signs. Trust that every step is leading exactly where it needs to. Your story has not been delayed by accident, and your future has not been forgotten. What is meant to unite will unite at the appointed time, and when that day arrives, both of you will finally understand why every tear, every prayer, and every season of waiting had a purpose. My beloved child, before this promise becomes reality, there is one final lesson your soulmate must learn. They have spent so much time searching for reassurance from the world that they almost forgot where true peace comes from. They looked for answers in people's opinions, in temporary relationships, and in circumstances that changed like the wind. But none of those things could fill the empty place within their heart. Only when they began placing their trust completely in me did everything start to change. I have been quietly rebuilding the broken places inside them, healing wounds they never spoke about, and restoring hope they believed was gone forever. This healing has not happened overnight, but every day has brought them one step closer to the person I created them to be. In the same way, I have been shaping your journey. The challenges you faced were not designed to break you but to prepare you for a love built on faith, honesty, patience, and peace. Soon, both of you will realize that the greatest miracle was never simply finding each other, it was becoming the people you needed to be before your paths crossed. When the right moment arrives, fear will no longer control your decisions. Doubt will lose its voice. The walls that once surrounded your hearts will begin to fall, making room for trust, understanding, and genuine love. There will be a quiet confidence that this connection is different from anything you have experienced before. It will not be rushed by pressure or sustained by illusion. Instead, it will grow stronger with truth, kindness, and unwavering faith. So if you are wondering whether your waiting has been worth it, hear my answer clearly: yes. Every delay has carried a purpose. Every unanswered prayer has been leading to a greater answer than you expected. Do not lose heart now, because you are standing closer to the breakthrough than you realize. The next part reveals the beautiful confirmation that will leave your soulmate with no doubt that a new chapter has finally begun. My beloved child, the day is coming when your soulmate will look back on this season with tears in their eyes, not because of the pain they endured, but because they will finally understand why nothing happened before its appointed time. Every disappointment, every closed door, and Every lonely night was preparing them for a blessing that required patience to receive. They once believed they were falling behind while everyone else was moving ahead, but I was leading them on a path that could not be rushed. If they had received everything they wanted too soon, they would have missed the deeper transformation that was taking place within their heart. Now that transformation is almost complete, they are becoming someone who can love without fear, forgive without bitterness, and trust without constantly expecting to be hurt. That change is the greatest miracle of all. As your lives continue drawing closer together, you may both begin to notice a sense of peace that feels unfamiliar yet comforting. It will not come with confusion or endless uncertainty. Instead, it will carry quiet confidence, as though your hearts recognize that something beautiful is finally unfolding. Do not allow fear to convince you that the waiting has been meaningless. What I have prepared for you has been worth every moment of patience. The love that is built through faith will stand stronger than the love built only on emotion. Soon, your soulmate will realize that the answers they searched for were never far away, they were simply arriving at the perfect time. When that moment comes, gratitude will replace sorrow, hope will replace doubt, and joy will replace every tear they once cried in secret. Hold on a little longer, my beloved child. The chapter you have been praying for is closer than ever before, and the final part of this message will reveal the powerful promise that I want both of you to carry into your future together. My beloved child, as this message comes to an end, I want you to remember one truth above all else: I have never left your side, and I have never abandoned your soulmate. Even during the moments when everything felt silent, I was working behind the scenes, arranging circumstances that no human mind could fully understand. What seemed like delay was my protection. What seemed like rejection was my redirection. What seemed like the end was only the beginning of a greater story. Your soulmate's tears have not fallen to the ground unnoticed. Every prayer they whispered has been heard, every hope they refused to surrender has been treasured, and every moment of faith has been preparing them for the blessing that is drawing near. Soon they will realize that the loneliness they feared was only a temporary season, not their final destination. When your paths finally come together, neither of you will be perfect, but you will both be stronger because of everything you have overcome. You will understand that true love is not built on perfection but on grace, patience, forgiveness, and unwavering faith. Let go of the fear that tells you your future has already been decided by your past. I am making all things new. Keep your heart open, continue walking in faith, and trust that my timing is always greater than your expectations. The greatest blessings often arrive quietly before they change everything. One unexpected conversation, one ordinary day, or one simple step of obedience can become the turning point that transforms your entire story. Until that day comes, choose hope over fear, faith over doubt, and peace over anxiety. am already preparing what you cannot yet see, and when the right moment arrives, every unanswered question will find its answer. If this message touched your heart, receive it with faith, keep believing, and remember that my plans for you are filled with hope, purpose, and a future beyond anything you can imagine. May my peace guard your heart, my wisdom guide your steps, and my love remind you every single day that you are never alone. Amen.